Test, test, test. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let me know how we sounding. What's going on, Christopher? I see you up in here. We're sounding good. We're sounding good. What's going on, my boy? All right, cool. So me and the members caught a nice move last night. Again, if y'all was in the TikTok live yesterday, we didn't take any setups yesterday. So we took a trade last night. Caught a nice GU trade. We're doing a retracement now. Might re-enter that. But what we need to know is that we do have in about an hour to so during this live stream, we're not going to really look for a setup. We're just going to break down some stuff, answer some questions, talk about what we're looking for today. Because if y'all don't know, members, y'all should know, I'm not against trading on news days, but I do have rules as far as it comes to trading on news events. Right? I like to take trades at least an hour or 2 hours prior or before the news or after the news. So in this case, I'm going to wait till the news plays out and then look for some setups. Right? So we got 440 GBP news. This one was 4 a.m. Well, these times this week is a little bit weird, but so we have 440 GBP news, and then 8:30 we got Canadian news. So make sure to keep those times in mind. But we got a nice move on here. Got to see what the exchange holds as well as resistance. Again, we was talking about the sell setup yesterday, but as you can see during the news, it was a little bit wonky and didn't break this level up until price. Didn't break this level and hold it as resistance, right, until around 2 o'clock yesterday. So we took this setup when markets reopened, did a retest, got a nice drop, failed to break the next level. So now we're coming back up to this level right here to see if we can continue to hold this level as resistance. So we got a few setups we're going to be looking at, y'all. We'll also talk about GM buys if we can hold 2470 as support. Got to see if we can do that. Again, we can do that. News have been popping up a little bit. But if GP New Zealand can hold 2470 as support, we can look for buys going to 2555. All right. And then gold was still reversal territory. Now, if we break above and hold 30.45 as support, then we can look for buys going to 33.68. All right, there were NAS. We're still looking for buys here. As you can see, the failed to hold this level of support yesterday. We're NAS100, we can hold 2120 as support. We can look for buys going to 2300. All right, so we got a few sellers looking at y'all. You already know the drill. Make sure to like the live as you're hop up in here and subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, we're right around the corner for 3,500 subscribers. We can get that easily. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting right now. I was just joining the stream. Me and the members who took this trade last night got wicked out of it. Might re-enter. Just watching to see how price reacts here. I can show that trade in a little bit as well. You know, we can show it right now. I'm not gonna show the full signal because the trade's not done yet technically, but I can show this, right? So go into the advanced place signal room, see we dropped the New York price watch list, and you see right here, I said charts waited until the last hour or so to do the moves we was looking for. We'll be on the charts tonight, and then you can see I dropped that at 1:09 p.m. Right? Then we scroll down a little bit because again, I control the signal because we're still in it. But then you can see later on that night, right, 7 or 8 p.m. That's when we took the trade. We're currently we are held on TP5. You can see here 827. I said we hit the middle of the zone. We're right here. 815 going to 830 candlestick. That's when we hit the middle of the zone. You can see how price rejected that level. We found the whole dash resistance, which is why price retraced back to our entry point, right? So we caught that trade last night. So that's what I mean, right? So Tokyo session isn't a terrible session to trade. Every session has its periods in time when there's low volume, right? We got to remember, when I remember we had someone asking in the live yesterday, do I just trade London session? No, I trade any session I want. That's the power of Forex trading. It's open 23 hours out the day, 5 days out the week. So there's literally opportunities all over the place. Right, so if the confirmations are met, doesn't matter what time of the day it is, unless it's like a Friday at like 2 o'clock p.m. or some shit like that. It doesn't matter. Your confirmations are met, take the setup. Right, it's that simple. So we're 3-1 this week, which is not bad at all. Whoops, what did I just do? GJ rejected this level. So I'm just gonna bring this down here. We're still gonna be looking for buys on GJ. But we're just going to let price retrace. We're just going to retrace. What's going on, Val? I'll see you in here. Another day, another dollar. Yep, you already know. You already know. If you're not advanced by sitting around what you're doing, in my opinion, Wade's the real deal. And I appreciate that. Let them know. Let them know. You know who username is? That's, you know, he who shall not be named. You know what I'm saying? He's one of my students, has been a student for a minute. If I think like a year now, a little over a year, or just in a year. But yeah, very, very, very simple. And like y'all saw, just rewind 5 minutes. Y'all saw how simple it is. The markets were slow yesterday. We knew a setup we was looking for, but because we didn't take a setup London or New York session, but we saw how price ended yesterday before markets closed. That's why I sent the member of that message. I sent the member of the students saying, "Look, we'll be on the charts tonight when markets open. Let's see if we make some money, right?" And then as y'all saw, markets open, Tokyo session, we took a trade, and that was GBPUSD. So again, all this we hear people talk about, you know, Asian sessions, you can trade Asian session, or you know, New York session, only session to trade that. We just debunked that yesterday. We debunked that last night, right? Got a nice 1 or 2 duration setup. What was I about to say? This just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out after the live stream if y'all have not already. And again, do not be surprised this weekend when you start seeing everybody talk about crypto again, because Bitcoin hit 103K or 102K yesterday. So what have I been telling y'all? I've been telling y'all about Bitcoin. I've been telling y'all to get Bitcoin since before the halving. Just look at the Bitcoin analysis playlist. You see that. And then even before Bitcoin hit 100K, I told y'all to get ready for the retracement. Y'all can see it in the thumbnails, right? Then when we hit 100K, I told y'all was late, but not too late, and that we was going to see a retracement. But I also told y'all that retracement to not listen to all the people online fear-mongering and talking shit about crypto. That I told y'all crypto is the future, and that crypto and that retracement is a part of the game, right? I told y'all in the TikTok live, the London session live, Now there was no crash as of now because we was not in no damn downtrend. It was just simply a retracement, which is why I said if we actually get into a downtrend and quote unquote crash, people are going to shit themselves if they can't even handle a retracement, right? Now everybody's going to be upset again because they missed Bitcoin again when it was that cheap. Everybody's going to be upset again. They missed all these coins. If y'all did not watch this video I dropped 2 weeks ago, y'all missed the fuck out, right? Because this was like 3 days after I dropped the video. All these are up, by the way. These are real coins, right? This is what it looked like 3 days after I dropped this video. Cosmos was looking like this. Eno was looking like this. Bitcoin was looking like this. Dot was looking like this. Solana was looking like this. Now, y'all know I told y'all to get a Solana when it retraced to 100 on price, right? I know I've been telling y'all about Pokemon for a minute. Tao, I've talked about it on like 2 videos. And I've been telling y'all about Cosmos. Fast forward to yesterday, Nina up 23% from month. I'm up more than that. Getting sore. I'm up more than double. Well, actually, that's a lot. I might be actually at 100%. So into that, like, I didn't enter at 190. I entered that like 2 something. But I'm still up a shit ton on Getting sore. That thing went crazy. Right? Because when I made that video, it was at like it was like at 260 or something like that when I made the Getting sore video. Cosmos going crazy. Y'all be up on everything right now, right? And again, if y'all got in on Solana when it was at $100, y'all up more than 50%. You're up a little bit more than 50%. Yeah, it's called a playbook for a reason. I don't know how else to show or explain it. But yeah, GN's going as y'all. Again, the reason why we're not really gonna take this setup is one, because we already took a setup on GU last night, and two, because we have in about an hour GP news about to pop off. Right, so I'm gonna wait till after the GP news to look for setups, and we'll also have 8:30 Canadian news. And I'm not too worried about the Canadian news because I don't trade Canadian pairs. Shout out to Canada though, and usually Canadian news doesn't really affect other pairs. Now sometimes it might, but usually the Canadian news doesn't really affect anything I trade. So let's see what this next 5 minutes looks like. You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. When we can need charts, drop them in the chat. That's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to drop that video dropped in the chat. Got a new video dropping for y'all today as well. My signal's bugging out lately, man. I don't know what's going on. I know after this live that I gotta my computer arrest. That thing's crying. Y'all can't hear me. My computer's crying for a break. I was using it all last night. I totally forgot to do the break before I streamed, but it's all good. Yeah, so y'all stock portfolios as well. Oh my goodness, every time I open up my portfolio, it just keeps going up. Y'all should be super, super nice and looking real nice on y'all's crypto portfolio stuff. But don't be asleep. The stocks are up too. All right. I just like crypto more, so that's why I don't be talking about stocks as much. But don't get it messed up. The stock portfolio is looking nice too. And I just dropped updated. So again, there's different types of investing, right? And so the cryptos I just showed in the video I just dropped yesterday, this is for more long-term investing in plays, right? Because again, we don't need to try to catch big gains. Now, obviously, there's stocks I talk about, crypto I talk about that you can't stake or get dividends on, right? That you can still get investments that you can get a good return on investment just due to the company, right? Or the purpose of the coin. But the reason why we talk about dividends and staking is because it's good for long-term holding and for the future, right? So This is stuff that you want to have for your long-term investing or to start up a retirement fund or things like that, because this is going to help set y'all up for the future, right? Because y'all starting now putting y'all's money in here, right? By the time 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and this is what the quote unquote rich do. This is how the quote unquote rich get richer, right? And they talk about it in the movies all the time, investments, stocks, trust, all that good stuff. But if I'm putting my money and I have a big chunk of money in dividend stocks or coins I can stake, and I'm getting monthly or weekly payouts from that, not only am I going to be getting more shares or more coins every time I get paid out, meaning I have more of that stock or coin in my portfolio, meaning the next dividend staking payout, I'm going to get even more money. But when it gets to like the 5 figures and like the 6-figure numbers, you're making a shit ton of money on the monthly and weekly basis, right? So there's people that are retired right now, not even retired right now, that are getting like anywhere from 200,000 minimum a month just by simply putting their money into ETFs or stocks that have dividends or staking coins that give payouts, right? So, and on top of that, the more aggressive returns on investment we make from day trading, right? So that's another thing, because again, day trading is investing as well. So that's why the like a couple weeks ago we had a question someone asked was like, which three out of the three things what would you do first, right? If I only had like $1,000, what would I do first? Day trade, invest, stock, or crypto invest. And I'm always going to say day trading first, because day trading you're going to make, especially if you know what you're doing, you're going to make more money quicker, right? Instead of waiting for price to increase in value from where you purchased that, you can enter buys or sells anywhere, and instead of waiting a week or a month for a 5 to 20% gain, you can see a 5% gain on a daily basis on your account. You can see a 20% gain on a weekly basis on your account, depending, of course, on the trades you take in the market conditions. But just things to think about. It's Friday, you know what I'm saying? Just giving y'all things to think about. We got a new 15 about to pop up in a second. So we got G retesting this level again. If we can hold 3260 as resistance, this trade is still valid. Looking to reenter. I did get whipped out last night on this. And then GJ, we're going to be looking for continued buys. So we're either going to be looking for price to break above and hold 192.75 as support, we'll look for buys, or we'll look to see if price can retrace and hold 191.85 as support, look for buys. And we talked about this in the TikTok live yesterday, right? So again, I don't use any indicators, and I just simply follow the flow of price. So you see how accurate we are on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. I always tell y'all, it doesn't matter if it's news event, holiday, high volume, low volume. We had news yesterday, right? We had 7 a.m. GBP news, 7:30 GBP news, 8:30 USD news. And again, you go to the London session live yesterday. We was looking for buys on GJ. Again, it's recorded. Just look at yesterday's live stream. We was looking for buys on GJ, right? You can see here, broke this low, which y'all know I like to enter off retest. Price did not retest this level until what? The 7 a.m. candlestick. And we had what yesterday at 7 a.m.? GBP news. We can also clearly see the difference in volume when the news popped off, but yet price still respected this level and followed these rules during the news event and still closed right at this level during the news event, right? So this again shows that it doesn't matter how volatile the markets get, it still has to respect these rules, which is why, again, we trade only off these rules. And why I always be talking about I don't care about any of the other shit, because all the other shit's irrelevant when it comes to the main thing, which is how the charts work, right? And again, this also proves that price isn't just randomly doing things and it's just so volatile, scary, because we literally see how respected and played out right here, right? And then the student that we were, and then I didn't go live with the members of students during this. I was in a one-on-one session during this. So so you know who he was. Who was in the one-on-one session. He actually got that in your recording, so you can witness that. It was actually good because that was the first session I had with that person yesterday. But that's besides the point. It's neither here nor there. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. We're looking at charts. Drop them in the chat. U15 just popped up. Again, so we took a trade last night. I'm not really in a rush or feeling forced to take a setup, which is perfect because again, I wanted to make catch a move last night, especially because we didn't take any trades yesterday, and also because I knew we had GBP news. All right, so we just broke above this level. So NAS, if we can pull 2120 as support, we're gonna be looking for buys going to 2300. That's what we're looking at right there. So we still got a few seconds play out. Make sure I like the livers and hop up in here, y'all. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We're right around the corner from 2,500 subscribers. We can get to that easily. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, y'all. Y'all see it scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram playmaker_way, TikTok _playmakerway _ post daily on both pages. Those just joined the stream. We have not entered this trade yet. It's just a trade idea. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free Signal and free Telegram. Y'all see on your screens how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. We're going to pull it up in a second too. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. Got a new 15 about to pop up in a little bit. We're about to see if we can hold this level as support. This is why I'm glad I got wicked out, right? So I'm glad I got wicked out. So that just reminded me. I see. This is a conversation I see a lot online as well, right? Where people, there's obviously going to be different opinions. So I'm gonna give my opinion on it. Where there's like a thing where There's people that obviously y'all know I don't do that break even stuff. I always say move SL on profit. Moving SL to break even is dumb in my opinion, because if I'm gonna move my SL from the original stop loss, I rather move it to, if it gets hit, I make money versus I lose nothing, right? Because a lot of times people will be like, oh, because it's break even, it's a risk-free trade, right? But no, if I'm up $500 and instead of moving my stop loss and profit to secure $50, $100, whatever, I move it to break even and I go from being up $500 or whatever, and I'm retracing. I'm up 500, I'm up 400, I'm up 300, I'm up 200, I'm up 100, $0. I get wicked out. I don't get how you can feel good and happy and satisfied and okay with what just took place. How can you be okay with being up X amount of dollars, not securing any profits, but because you didn't go into drawdown, you're okay with that? No. If I'm gonna move my stop loss and profit, or if I'm gonna move my stop loss, I should say I'm gonna move it in profit, right? Or I'm gonna keep it where it's at. So that goes to another thing, right? So there's also another thing where people are like, if you move your stop loss from where it's originally at, you don't trust your analysis, you're scared, whatever. But anyone that's traded for at least 3 days should know that a trade is not guaranteed to go all the way from your entry to your final TP. That's not guaranteed, right? Which is again why it's important to understand how to read the charts. And it's better to be safe than sorry, right? I always talk about don't let winners turn to losers. Now, obviously, this hasn't hit my stop loss, but the fact that I got wicked out, I don't have to deal with the drawdown and then the quote unquote hoping, crossing my fingers and praying that it comes back down in my favor. That's why people be getting really fucked up mentally when it comes to trading as well. Versus I'm looking at the charts, I clearly see that price is rejecting. I'm going to secure profits or close, especially on top of, I understand that we just broke this level, and this is the level we've been talking about since the beginning of this week and last week. We need to break and hold as resistance, right? And then on top of that, we got news in a little bit. There's a lot of things and variables, right? But you don't know when price retraces if it's going to push back in your favor until it does it, or until those confirmations show. But what you do know is that you're up X amount of dollars and price is rejecting and struggling to continue to push in your favor, right? Which is again why in the Man's Place Signal Room, I be letting y'all know about this stuff to help y'all do what y'all need to do accordingly as well. Because again, we go to the signal. You can see here at 827, I said we hit in the middle of the zone. Pay attention to your charts, right? We go to the 820, 815, 827 candlestick. We see price. Let me zoom in because I want y'all to really see this. This is the exact candlestick when price tapped. I told the members to pay attention to y'all's charts because, as we know, we don't just want price to break a level. It's more important where the candlestick closes than where it just goes, right? So for price to continue to go down, this low needs to be held as resistance, which we see price failed to do so here, which is why price rejected and the direction changed, right? So this is what I talk about with the playbook. Damn it, I don't got it up. I don't feel like going through it. This is what we talk about in the playbook, right? This is how the charts work. So again, like we'll talk about the TikTok a lot, rules of the downtrend. What's the rules of the downtrend? We have to break support levels, treat them as resistance, right? So this resistance level got broken, treated as support, which is why the reversal and uptrend came into play on the smaller time frame, right? So again, this is why it's important to understand how to read the charts. Why you got to stick and follow the playbook. We got GN doing a retest. We're going to see who can hold this level at support. About to see if GJ can break this level, hold that support. Again, we got GBP news in about an hour at 4:40 a.m. So make sure to keep that in mind. We already took a nice GU trade last night, so that's why I'm also kind of chilling. But if I do take another setup, it's going to be after this news event plays out. So it's going to be between 5 6 a.m. I'm start looking for setups. But a lot of these charts are still trying to do some retest confirmations, so we're not really missing anything right now. All right, but let's go back into the free signal for Telegram. All right. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at new charts, drop them in the chat. We're going to be on for a little bit longer. Yeah, and that's just another thing. You just got to build that habit, because that's the thing with trading, right? Like, again, once you understand how to read the charts, once you understand the rules of the playbook, once you got a strategy down, then the hard part comes, the discipline. And part of the discipline and part of just the trading journey itself and life itself is replacing those bad habits with good habits. And that is the hard part, right? Because habits are habits, right? It's just like people that bite their nails, right? You can be like, oh, I'm gonna stop biting my nails. And 2 minutes later, you scrolling on TikTok or some shit. Next thing you know, you 3 knuckles deep in your mouth, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I was chewing on my fingers, right? So it's a habit. You don't think about it. It's just like blinking, right? Hopefully you don't have to deal with this, but you don't just be like, oh, my eyes are burning. Oh yeah, that's why my eyes are burning. I forgot to blink. Duh. No, you just blink, right? It's like you don't have to think about you breathing. So that's how it's going to get eventually. But the only way you get to that point is through repetitions, right? So you just gotta put that in your notes and just constantly remind yourself until it becomes second nature. You know what I'm saying? But you definitely gotta secure profits for sure. Right. Another example is because, again, I'd rather secure some profits get wicked out, because let's say price rejects that level, I get wicked out, and then if it keeps going my projection favor, I can re-enter off the same trade idea and catch the same move, if not the full move, right? So I can potentially do that with GU as well, but instead of having this be one whole trade, it being up X amount of dollars, then being back in drawdown, and then having to wait to see if it'll push me back into profit, I could have made some money here and then wait for my confirmation to be met again and look for another entry on the same trade idea. You get what I'm saying? That's some extra game for y'all. But at the same time, you still gotta have a trading plan, because you gotta stop trading at some point, right? You shouldn't be in the markets all day. You shouldn't be trading all day. That's how you also kill your profits and gains. So again, that's why it's important to have a trading plan, a set trading plan before you do anything, right? Before you start trading on a live account, you need to understand how the charts work, not just the basics, but actually understand how the charts work, right? If you're looking at the chart and you still don't fully understand what's happening, you got a little bit more work to do, right? But you need to have a full understanding how the charts work. You need to have a trading plan. You got to understand proper risk, right? And there's things in each one of those, like subcategories, each one of those. But that's just Again, we're not missing anything. Look at any of these charts. It's not like these charts have been moving or we've been missing anything at all, which is why, again, it's important to understand how to read the charts and just, again, never be in a rush for setups. Just patiently wait. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When looking at these charts, drop them in the chat. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, y'all. What's going on for Tuna? Can we look at Bitcoin's chart? Yeah, we can look at Bitcoin. I did also just drop the Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum update earlier this. What was it earlier this week? Let me look at it. When did I drop this? I dropped it 3 days ago, so make sure to check this out as well. But we can talk about it right now. I got you. Make sure to check this out. So I've been telling y'all to get into that for a minute now. And like I said, this weekend, do not be all shocked and surprised. My bad, y'all. This weekend, do not be all shocked and surprised when everybody and their mama starts talking about crypto again. And don't forget, when last month, February, March, when everybody was talking about everything tanking and crashing, I ain't gonna say I was the only one because I'm pretty sure there's other people, but I was one of the only ones telling y'all that nothing was crashing and to buy. And if y'all listened, check y'all's portfolios and y'all see what happened, right? Well, let's pull up Bitcoin. I got you. I just want that known though. Everybody and their mama was freaking out. I told y'all it was a crash. It was just a retracement. But looking at Bitcoin, right? We're approaching the all-time highs again. We're at 100K right now. So, like we was talking about in that video, we need to hold 100K as support. If we can hold 98K, 100K as support, we can see price make its way back to the all-time highs, which was like around 108K, 109K. Right, so we see here, our price was treated as low as resistance and just blew through it yesterday. Right? So for where price is at now, it's either going to keep on pushing and make its way up to 108K, 109K, or it could try to retest to make sure it can hold 98K as support. Okay? So that's what's going on with Bitcoin. So we're going to see price possibly do that this weekend, or it's going to try to make its way back up to the all-time highs. As long as we can respect to hold 98K as support, we can see Bitcoin keep on pushing. All right, but that's what needs to happen for Bitcoin to keep on pushing. So that's what's going on with Bitcoin right now. All right, when things were quote unquote crashing, right? I told y'all to buy in at 79K, 80K. So if y'all got in there, y'all be super up right now. But I also been telling y'all to get in since we was at 55K, 60K, since before the halving and after the halving. So we're already super deep in profit. But for those that didn't take profits or was late to the party, if y'all bought in here, y'all should be up right now as well. But y'all should be super, super up on the altcoins, right? Because with Bitcoin, I'm not going to say don't invest in Bitcoin, but don't, unless you can afford half a Bitcoin or some shit, I wouldn't have that be your main or the biggest in your crypto portfolio. Simply because it's other coins where you can make way more money and get a bigger return on investment for multiple coins compared to Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's still important to, it has its purpose, but I would say focus more on altcoins. Now, I'm saying don't buy Bitcoin. If I had $1,000, $5,000, $100, I'm gonna make a lot more investing in other coins compared to Bitcoin. Right? You just look at Coinbase, look at Kraken. Bitcoin's only up 6%, right? There are coins that are up 20%, 10%, 15%, 30%, 50% for the day. I'm not even talking about the week, I'm not talking about strictly the day. So keep that in mind as well. So GN did retest and hold his level as support nicely. Again, if GN could hold 24.65 as support, we could look for buys going to 55. Now, I'm not taking the setup because we have news. That doesn't mean the news isn't going to play out in our favor, but we're already out for the day. And again, this is the difference between smart investing and gambling because it is still that volatility happening during the news events. Right? You can clearly see a good example right here, right? The news started off going in our favor, but then immediately rejected. So, but pay attention to how GU attempted to push back down. Pay attention to the lips. When my computer comes back up, don't worry, I'm gonna let you take a little nap after I finish this live. Don't you worry, right? But yeah, so that's what's going on with it. That's what's going on with Bitcoin. I dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Y'all see it's scrolling at the bottom of your screens. Instagram, playmaker_way, TikTok, _playmaker_way, post daily on both pages. All right. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Get free signal, free Telegram, y'all. Y'all see your screen the last month, the last quarter. We're 3-1 this week, y'all. We're 3-1 this week. We went 5-0 last week. Before we get to that, yes, it is Friday, but still check out the Sunday chart analysis, right? The reason why I want y'all to check that out is because I'm a see it to believe it type of motherfucker. I don't know how y'all are, but like I always say, the Sunday chart analysis goes over not just what we see price doing Sunday night going into Monday, but it goes over what we see price doing throughout the entire week. So you check out this week's Sunday chart analysis, or last week's Sunday chart analysis. You will see that before the charts becoming as projected week to week. All right, so our win streak did end this week, and we're still up for the week, which is cool. And we usually take 1 or 2 losses at the beginning of the month anyways, just simply because of a new month and reports and all that good stuff. Right? If I was trading last week or this week, you can clearly tell that there was a long periods of time of there's no fucking volume and then quick moves and then no volume again, and quick moves and then price struggling to continue trends and all that good stuff. So, that's just the market conditions we're in. But even with those market conditions, we're still up a super deep in profit. But as far as how we wrapped up and ended last month, like y'all see, if y'all scroll up to May 2nd, you can see how April was 16-1, giving us 94% win rate. It's a total of 16,765 pips. There you go, May 2nd, you can see this right here. You click right here, it's going to take us to the month. All right. I think it was April 2nd? Yeah, April 2nd. You can see how we wrapped up in one this street. January we went 17.3, February 14.1, and in March we went 13.1, and we hit 44.5 against 90% win rate. So again, you can see the average high 80, high 90% win rates, not just on a weekly basis, but as well as a monthly and quarterly basis. And we've been doing this for a very, very, very long time consistently. Really do this every year, y'all. Yeah, well, we got G pushing back down, so it'll be interesting. I wasn't going to stay on for the news, but because I'm kind of curious. I'm going to go on the charts anyways. I'm kind of curious to see how this charts play out. So let's see what happens. Then we got 4:40 news, and then later on, going into New York session, we got 8:30 Canadian. And no problem. When you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop them in the chat. We're going to be on for a little bit longer. We got a couple things to do, so I'm going to be multitasking. I got to go down my list, my to-do list for the day, and make sure everything is in order. Because I got a lot of editing to do today. I ain't going to lie. I got a lot of videos to edit and chop up today, but it was all good. Make sure to like the live, y'all, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We're right around the corner from 3,500 subscribers. Let's get that. All right, let's start. Let's start next week off like that. And shout out to those that already like the live. That likes the live every day. Shout out to those that already subscribed. And of course, shout out to the playmakers because we eating right now. You know, I feel like something is wrong here. I feel like this shit was not here. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like something's off with my screen. This just doesn't seem. I don't know. This just looks like it wasn't here before. I could be tripping. I don't know. This shit just looks like it'll be. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I gotta look at my live yesterday to see if that was good. I don't know. That shit just maybe because I was on my phone early. I don't know. That just don't look like it should be there. I'm probably tripping. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. I don't know if we're going to be on for the whole 15 candlestick, but I do want to see how it plays out a little bit. We got GN going as projected. I want to see these other charts are going to wake up. My computer crying for help. I gotta restart my computer, y'all. Again, we got GP news about to play out. We got 8:30 Canadian news. We might go live on TikTok today. If we do, I'll send the link out on in the Telegram like always. But make sure to follow me on TikTok, nonetheless, as well as Instagram. We got some posts lined up for y'all today over the weekend. Also got a new video done for y'all on YouTube today as well, so make sure to be on the lookout for that. Do not waste the weekend, y'all, especially new traders. Do not waste the weekend. Use the weekend to review your trades, not just this week, but last week's and last month's trades if you haven't already. Use the weekend to study up, because speaking from experience, I used to not do shit on the weekends, trading wise, that is, when I was first learning how to trade. And all the little progress I made during that week, 80% of it I forgot or I backtracked on, right? Because again, like I said, trading is split up in a few things, right? It's the charts, there's also habits, which is why, again, you got to consistently be studying. Now, I'm not saying you don't have a life, but if you put an hour, 2 hours a day onto the charts, you'll see a huge difference in y'all's trading. Yeah, my computer bugging out. I'm gonna have to restart this. So shout out to everybody in the live, y'all. Shout out to everybody that's been alive since the beginning. Shout out to everybody that's been alive since y'all joined. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free signal for Telegram. If you're interested in how to identify these levels with signal service or mentorship programs, make sure to hit those links in the description, y'all. Again, it's called the Playbook for a reason. And yeah, we out.